Hello, here I am again for the next video on my request list. Now, the next video on my list is a life purpose video. So the life path number is 90% your life purpose, and all the elements that within the life path 8 are your major lessons for this lifetime, and you're going to be at different levels with each of the lessons. There might be some lessons that you've already improved upon, some that you're still struggling with, and some that you've nailed, because there's always going to be lessons that you find easier or more difficult depending on the numbers in your toolbox, your expression number, your soul urge, your karmic abilities from the past, your maturity number. That all serves as a bearing of how easy or difficult you're going to find each and every element of your life path 8, and that is most important. Life path 8, and then of course looking at the sub lessons, which aren't part of this video. It's mainly the 8 with the 11, but taking in those sub lessons as well is also useful. So the life path 8 is 90% your life purpose, and then the birthday number is like a major sub lesson of the life purpose. So it's saying be a life path 8, but bring in some elements of the birthday master 11 if you were born on the 11th or 29th. So you've got two opposing numbers really here. The 8 is about the world. It's about money and building resilience and achieving your personal goals in the world and leading people, being an authority figure. It's very much about teaching and managing businesses and achieving personal goals and making money, but it's using your intuition to help you to lead confidently, using your intuition to help you to make those positive decisions about what risks to take or what not to take. Then you've got the birthday number 11, which is very airy fairy and spiritual. So it's maybe build a business or something that you teach, like a life path 8. Deal with any issues you might have relating to money, to status and power, which are the three elements of a life path 8, whereas also dealing with all the ideas and new innovations that you get through your master 11. So it's about building resilience, the 8, and the 11 can struggle with sensitivity too. So I'm thinking this combination of numbers can be quite sensitive to their environment and has to do a lot of managing of their environment in order to be able to function and achieve their goals in this world, because these two numbers are a challenge. They're a difficulty because they're your life purpose. So let's look at the 8 first of all, most important, and all the elements of the 8, and then the 11 afterwards. And it's about pulling these numbers together and having them work together. Now, as an 8, you're here to learn the secrets of worldly financial success to seek freedom. So it's making good money in an ethical, responsible way to support yourself, feel that you can make free choices, and also that you can help others with too. So because this is a lesson, there's difficulties and challenges attached. The 8 might make or lose money quite erratically at times. Sometimes they'll make lots of money, sometimes they might lose it. But what's important is they learn why they made the money or why they lost the money. It's making and losing, so that you can learn all the secrets of making financial abundance, what works and what doesn't. So there's definitely ups and downs around making and maintaining financial security with this life path. And then when you've built that financial abundance, or you have any kind of finances around you, to use it not only to support yourself and the people around you, but to use it as a tool to help other people, like an investor would. Developing a healthy attitude towards money as an energetic mode of exchange. But because you're an 8 and you need to learn to manage your financial abundance and use it as a tool that help others, sometimes you're not going to use it as a tool to help others. Sometimes you're going to squander your abundance on things like worldly status symbols, because 8s struggle with money management, attitude to money, status and power issues. So they might be like buying worldly status symbols and cars and designer clothes others, all to make them look or feel more important in this world, when that's something they need to really think, worldly status symbols, really, is that something I really want to do? Do I care about my status in this world, or do I want to use my abundance to help others? And they can also struggle with their attitude towards money, like they may resent the wealthy and think that they're all unethical, or they may, you might be wealthy and you might resent people that don't have money, or feel that they're below you in some way, very, thinking that your value in this world relates to how much money you have or don't have, which is again a fallacy, and it's something that we can't judge each other for, whether we've got money or not, or judge people that are wealthy and think that they must be criminals, or judge people that don't have money and think, oh, they must be layabouts. Money is energy and can be used for positive or for negative, and there's lessons attached to being rich as many as there's lessons attached to being poorer. It's all lessons. If you're rich in this lifetime, you were poor in another lifetime, and it's about managing the idea of people that have lots of money and those that don't, and not resenting each other for being a have or a have not. It's just a lesson. You're also here to develop a balanced attitude towards achievement and success, because the 8 can swing from total work avoidance or complete obsession and workaholism. They can swing between the two, and they need to find a balanced attitude towards achievement. So sometimes you might be avoiding work, sometimes you might be a workaholic, or you might swing to one of those extremes all of the time. You might be a workaholic that's focusing on their work and has no love in their life, or you may completely avoid working and end up almost like homeless because you avoid making any kind of money at all. So it's coming away from these two extremes and finding balance to the two, developing a balanced attitude towards achievement and success, working sometimes, having a work-life balance, working business or teaching, some kind of authority situation where you're making money or even losing money to try and achieve financial success and material abundance. So, it's finding that balance, because you can either avoid the working world or you can be a complete workaholic. And both of those situations bring their own challenges and difficulties alongside them, and finding balance that will help you build relationships and build success in this world without any obsessions on either side, nice and balanced. You're here to be worldly, strong, realistic and resilient to deal with this world around us, deal with the world's ups and downs and all the people within it, and, and not feel that you're too sensitive, because sometimes 8s can feel too vulnerable, too sensitive, and they may struggle to deal with the ups and downs of this world. That's going to be someone who avoids work, maybe avoids the outside world, and struggles with how people are, and they don't feel very strong or resilient to deal with some of the cutthroat business and some of the issues and challenges that need to be dealt with in this world. You're here also not only to be strong and resilient, but also brave and courageous, to take calculated and intuitive risks to progress. So again, this is a challenge, this is a difficulty, this is a lesson to get past. So you might be fearful, unable to take even the smallest of risks to progress. Maybe you're not listening to your intuition. Maybe you're overthinking things, and maybe you're not taking the right kind of risks to help you to move forward with your personal goals. So that's something to use your intuition for. When shall I take risks? When shall I be brave? What risks are going to pay off, and what risks are worth the risk? Intuition helps you not only to take those risks and know which risks to take, but also to lead and manage the situation during and after. You're here to learn to make things happen in this world, to achieve your personal goals and be a leader, organise the workload of everyone else around you. And because, again, you're here to do that, you might be totally disorganised. You might not progress at all. It might be really slow moving progress. You might procrastinate. You might miss opportunities to move forward and get things done in this world. And it might be fear or low confidence or inability to trust yourself, which is stopping you from really making it happen in this world. The social to achieve is that you're here to be ethical and responsible. 8s have their ethics and their responsibility to others challenged all the time. And it's really important that a powerful 8 considers their impact on the people around them, because a really struggling 8 or an 8 that's still learning to be ethical and to use their power wisely can be unethical, irresponsible. They're the kind of business leaders that will let pollution into rivers and then deny it was even them, or exploiting others or the environment or whatever else for their own material gain. So again, ethics and responsibility are very important for the life path 8. To be a skilled manager, leader, charismatic, balanced personal power. 8s are here to be world-class masculine leaders. So they have to balance their personal power. They mustn't be the kind of person that can be walked all over, and they mustn't be a tyrant either. So they've got to balance their personal power, know when to be supportive and know when to be a bit firmer, know when to step in and when to step back, to be that charismatic, intuitive, brilliant leader. So because that's their challenge, they might have unbalanced personal power. They might be too submissive. They might let people walk all over them, or they might be too dominating, too tyrannical and controlling. So submissive or dominated, or dominating of others. And they got to find a balance between the two, because they can be like walked all over or tyrannical. And again, it's finding that balance and knowing when to be a bit tougher and when to be a bit more supportive. So it's a big lesson for the 8 to be that leader, because 8s are manifestors. You know, what they think about is what they create in this world. So it's really important that not only are they believe in their confidence so that they can balance their personal power, but that they can also manifest their personal goals and manifest positive things for those around them. Finally, you're here to develop inner confidence. Like I keep saying, if you're going to make decisions as a leader or take risks and know which risks to take, you need to have that inner confidence and self-belief. And that is based on trusting yourself, trusting the intuitive voice within you to be true, so that you can act on that confidently. But not listening to your intuition. You might struggle to listen to your intuition. Maybe you don't. Maybe you are low confident. Maybe you don't believe in your abilities. Maybe you don't listen to your inner voice and second guess yourself all the time. That's a big lesson that it's important for you as an 8 to get through. Resilience, confidence, taking risks, trusting yourself and pounding forward and making things happen in this world ethically and responsibly. Now, looking at the types, you know, we're focusing on the 8 today, but you can look at other videos on my channel and my Life Path 8 channel, and some single videos to look at the 178, the 268, the 358, the 448, the 538. Now, as the numbers go up here, they become rarer. So somebody born on the 7th of September 1999, 7 plus 9 plus 1 is a 17-8. But somebody that would be a 538, which I don't see very often, would need to have at least 2 master numbers in the 3 elements of their date of birth, like born on the 22nd on a 22 year, born on the 22nd of a 22 year again, so 22nd of September 1975 or 22nd of September 1993. So it's a rarer life path, but lots more to achieve, you know, when you have a life path like this. So they're the types. So you can look into the nuances of the sublessons with another video on my channel, because again, as I say, I'm focusing on the 8 with the 11 today, because that is the most important thing. So just before I leave, if you're a 178, you're here to focus on your spirituality and your intuition. You might find following your intuition and trusting yourself a bit more difficult if you're a 178. If you're a 268, you're here to be a nurturing 8. So you're definitely looking after all kinds of people, nurturing people of all races and creeds, especially those that are vulnerable. So an 8 that is a 268 is of service to their community, their family and those around them. It's a very soft and squidgy type of 8. So that's going to be somebody who will be in the well-being profession. Maybe they make money via helping and nurturing the people around them. The 358 could be a performer, an actor, or a writer, some kind of person that performs to others, inspires, informs and delights others in order for them to create their abundance on earth. 44-8, very, very rare, quite a difficult one. It's very much about being able to achieve your personal goals and feeling safe and secure in this world, and that's certainly not easy for a 44-8. And again with the 53-8, like the 35-8, it's the communicator, the inspirer, the teacher, the writer, when it's a 53-8. So you're always that 8, but you've got a few sublessons, maybe some steps you need to take in order to be that 8 that you're here to be. Now, 10% focus, the major sublesson to your life purpose is your birthday number. Now, this person was born on the 11th or the 29th of any month. And that means that the 11 is very innovative. So if the 11 was round business, like the 8, the 11 might come up and channel all these brand new innovative ideas, concepts and products. So an 11 or an 811 might be someone that is an inventor, that channels brand new ideas, gets product made and puts them onto the market. Very much about life-changing products and services and things that they can then market in the world like an 8 and lead other people towards and make money on. But it's things that change the world quite strongly, like products and concepts and situations that bring positive change to this world. But they could also be a business leader or a goal achiever that is a psychic that channels messages and brings change for people in that way. There are many different mediums, even though they're very different numbers. There's quite a few mediums that you can use to help you be an 8, but also bring in elements of the 11 too, because the 11 is more spiritual than the 8. So they're asking you to put a bit of spirituality into it, which again, maybe the intuition needs a bit of a kick up the bum. Trust yourself more, trust your perceptions and your intuitive voice. That's why you've brought the 11, because maybe you don't always trust your thoughts, your perceptions, your intuition, your knowings that are probably right most of the time. So it's having that daily connection with source energy consciousness in daily spiritual practice, and that's going to help you get rid of your sensitivity and for your life path 8 become more resilient and more able to take steps in the world. But because you have this as a challenge, you might not develop a daily connection with source energy. Maybe you avoid all kinds of spirituality, meditation and calming situations. You might disregard the ideas and messages and ideas that channel towards you and let them all fall on stony ground, or you might put them forward as part of your life path 8 with the innovation or the helping people to change through your psychic abilities or your intuitive abilities or anything else that an 11 might do, because because 11's a healing number. So a healer that makes money and achieves their personal goals via healing others is another medium that could possibly be used for the 8 and the 11. So they're here to develop the ability to handle the master energy that hits them daily. It's not as powerful as if it would be if it was their life path number, but they still are overwhelmed by the master 11 energy. Not so intense as if it was their life path, but it is still there. And they need to not only combat their sensitivity in the life path 8, but combat their energetic overwhelm from the 11, and because any unmanaged energy will lead to anxiety, oversensitivity, and definitely nervous tension, which can hold an 8 back from achieving anything in this world. So that's important. Daily spiritual practice and exercise to help manage all that energy, all those ideas that hit them daily. And sometimes that might have to be done more than once or twice a day to help manage the sensitivity and the overwhelm. You're here to be highly intuitive. You need that for your life path 8 in order to achieve, take risks, lead people and make confident decisions. But you need it for the 11 as well, because it's not just to manage your own inner compass and your own ability to trust yourself, but to help you to serve the needs of others. If you have a healing business or you teach people to different things so that they can heal themselves. So you need that intuition, not only for yourself, but so that you can know what people need before they even know and help serve their needs as part of your business or your teachings, which is a big part of your life path, of course. You're here to nurture the message or idea and progress it with skillful planning and team building, because so many ideas comes to 11 that sometimes they can't focus enough on any one idea because there's too many other ideas and they're overwhelmed by all these ideas and they don't know which ones to act on. And even if they do act on one, they'll change their mind and think, oh, should I be doing this other idea instead? And that again can stop them progressing on any idea because they're not focusing on any one. So there could be an inability to focus enough to make plans, and lack of social confidence if they're not trusting their intuition, lack of confidence to communicate with or even try and build an effective team to get things started. You're here to learn to confidently, intuitively express your uniqueness and your unique world-changing messages and ideas. Because we all try and fit in, don't we? But an 11 isn't here to fit in. They're here to bring change, to show their uniqueness and bring positive change from that. But because they have to balance their confidence, they can either be sublimely underconfident and feel that they can't do anything, or overconfident and aggressive. So you can have crippling underconfidence or aggressive overconfidence. Both have their difficulties. So if you're underconfident, you're going to crave validation for others and from others. And if you don't get it, you might be worried about getting bad feedback and hide your unique messages and ideas that should be coming out to bring change. Or you might be overconfident, aggressive, and demand your ideas be brought into play and cause all kinds of conflict. You've got to balance that confidence so that you're not overconfident or underconfident, and that you can bring your uniqueness to this world in a very balanced way. You've got to stay focused on and manifest your unique ideas in reality, because like I said, that overwhelm can cause lack of focus. You might have very idealistic and unfeasible ideas for humanity right now at our level of development. You might be in the clouds a lot of the time, lose interest quickly because there's so many other ideas coming to you, and struggle to stay focused on any one idea long enough to take it forward. And again, like the 8, so there's more need than just the 8 here to be a brave, intuitive risk taker, to make courageous decisions. This element's in your life path 8, so it's a biggie. Making courageous decisions, taking calculated, intuitive risks to progress like an 8 would, and not be too fearful or underconfident to take any kind of risk to progress, which is what many 811s do. And then they end up staying stuck and don't achieve what they want to achieve in life, because they're here to be doers, to take action. And because they're here to take action, there's going to be energetic overwhelm, laziness, procrastination, low confidence, which may stop that action, especially when they've got so many ideas and they don't know which one to act on, or, you know, they're so overwhelmed that they can't focus on any one idea, or, you know, they procrastinate because they're not totally sure whether they're good enough or whether their ideas are good enough, or, you know, and it sort of holds them and stops them from taking action, like a lot of things do for this these two numbers. Be determined to succeed with your innovation and your healing messages and your new illuminating message. But apathy, lack of motivation, and that can be from overwhelm, low self-esteem, negative self-talk, manifesting negative things because you're an 8 who's thinking negatively instead of thinking positively, and feeling that they can't do it when actually they can. You know, and again, they've got to learn to be dependable and get things done, not chaotic, which they can be, uncommitted, forgetful, overwhelmed, underconfident, or on the other extreme, you know, the dependability needing balance. You could be under dependable, which is the chaos and the forgetfulness and forgetting what you've basically said to someone you'll do for them, or overly dependable. So you're only looking after them obsessively and nothing else. And, you know, that stops you from doing other things in your life. It's, again, finding balance in dependability, knowing what to do and when to be dependable to this person, that person, or yourself, and doing it in a balanced way, and knowing the difference and when to use it. Having that strong inner compass from your trusted intuition. We keep talking about intuition because intuition is good for not only supporting your own decisions and your own confident way forward, but also to help you to manage the needs of others, to know what each other needs, what other people need, because you are a healer. If you have 11 in your numbers. So confident, strong inner compass from your trusted intuition, because you don't need validation from others, even though you may crave it. So your difficulties, again, it's not just the overwhelm, it's underconfidence, craving validation from others, and getting upset if they criticize you. Hide your messages and ideas if you feel it's not going to be received well from others, when you should be bravely speaking out to get the positive change that you know intuitively is correct. That's an important and a difficult lesson to learn as well. Learning to be happy to shake off people's comfort zones, and, you know, and being courageous, because a lot of people don't like their comfort zone being shaken, you know, and they might allow dissension and argument from others to stop them from moving forward with their ideas, when actually change is a major part of life. So they've got to be happy to shake the comfort zones of others and bring change into people's lives courageously, and not allow, you know, people that don't like change to stop them. And it might create a little bit of chaos. It might create often a little bit of fighting, but at the end of the day, you're here to be a mediator as well, to help manage that change. So you might be scared of dissension from others. You might crawl under your rock, hide your ideas, and stay totally stuck because you're scared to ruffle anyone's feathers or bring change that you think might upset other people. So we've got to get you to the point where you're happy. It's so confident intuitively that your ideas and your way forward will bring positive change, that you do it anyway despite dissension from others. Another difficult lesson. Being interdependent as well, not doing everything yourself or expecting everyone to do everything for you. Giving and receiving help in a balanced way. You don't want to be giving too much help because it will just exhaust you and you'll end up resentful, and you know, you're not good at asking for help from others, so you'll end up give, and then you're not achieving your own life path. So having boundaries and, have the assertiveness to demand healthy boundaries on what or how much you'll do for others, because you've got to look after yourself too, and you've got to be true to yourself. It's no good being a shapeshifter, pleasing others down every way and losing your own self, your own identity, and neglecting your own needs to your detriment is something you don't want to be doing. It's balanced assertiveness to define the boundaries on what you will accept and what you will not accept, how much help you will give and how much you need to help yourself at that moment, especially as a life path 8, because it's all about your success and your leadership. So it's important you're not giving too much of your energy away without boundaries and without money coming your way. You should be a healer or a helper that actually makes some abundance from that. You've got to learn to be a supportive, an empathetic leader. Now in the 8, you're here to be a masculine, charismatic, world-class leader. And in the 11, you've got to bring in some supportive, more feminine leadership. So knowing when to be firm or knowing when to put your arm around someone. Firm when needed, fair when needed. But again, your difficulties potentially with management is you might be a bit on one end of the extreme, distant and uninterested and an unsupportive leader, or you might be too dominant or too submissive. If you're too submissive, you might lack the confidence to assert your leadership, and you don't know when to be firm or when to be fair when needed. So this combination of numbers is about masculine and feminine leadership. And remember, intuition is a big part of that. Being responsible to the team, to be a team player and not be disruptive and uncooperative. You're here to lead, but you also need to be able to work alongside others as well. That's really important. And, having those boundaries in place will mean that you won't feel taken advantage of or treated badly because you've got your own boundaries in place, so that you can work with others in a calm way and work in a team and an effective team. So sometimes you can be a little bit of a drama queen and struggle to work alongside others. And sometimes you might be taken advantage of if you don't have those boundaries in place. You've got to develop excellent social skills, able to widen and deepen your social circle. But you can be easily overwhelmed by the noise and chaos of many people, and it can make you sometimes want to avoid socializing at all. But it's important that you're developing your ability not only to meet others like you would be as a business person or authority figure, but to help others and make them confident in you, being able to not only widen but deepen your relationships with friends, family and clients and colleagues alike in your world. Being that skilled and tactful mediator, because the 11 puts a cat amongst the pigeons with their new ideas, and then they're not allowed to just put a cat amongst the pigeons with their new ideas and then walk away. They need to manage the conflict that may have started because of change. Change always brings some kind of conflict or difficulty that needs to be ironed out, and the 11 needs to be part of that mediation process, not be so oversensitive that they run away from conflict and hide under the carpet until they've gone, or maybe getting overbearing. And it's about fairness. It's about saying, okay, this is the change I want to bring in. How can we bring it in fairly so that everybody gets a shout, everyone gets a look in, and everyone's gets or sacrifices something in the agreement, so that the conflict, the pigeons that were sent up in the air when the new idea was told, can be settled back down and calmed back into their nests again, so that this change can be brought forward peacefully. Finally, developing a balanced need for love. Sometimes 8s can be too focused on work, and 11s struggle with long-term relationships. So this combination of numbers can cause some difficulties with long-term relationships, needing to develop a balanced need for love, not to walk away from love and totally disregard it, or to be too over focused on love and obsessive. So you can be distant and not interested in a relationship, which means you don't get in a relationship, or you can be overbearing to the point where people leave you in relationships and you struggle to make that long-term relationship situation happen for you. Long-term loving relationships aren't easy because 11s have got a lot of ideas and they can be quite distant, and 8s can be quite focused on their work or focused on their own doldrums, and it can be a difficulty for 8s and 11s to maintain those relationships and not be emotionally distant or overly smothering with unrealistic expectations to those around them. Balance, knowing when to step in, when to step out, when to, be present and when you're not present, and have a split between the two that is balanced and healthy. Now, if you're not already, please subscribe and follow me on YouTube. I'm always posting new videos, and you can make requests on the comments or send me a message at katie@soulexplorer.net if you have any questions or you want to make any video requests. I'm also on Facebook. I have a page on Facebook. I'm on Instagram under Soul Explorer Kate. I'm even on LinkedIn and Twitter. And you can support me on Ko-Fi and Patreon if you so desire. I have links to my books and to my courses in the description box below. See you at my next video. The final book I had planned is complete. Now, this is my last book that I have planned, and it's called The Vibration of a Name. And it's for people that might be having children, expecting children very soon, or maybe even wants to name something personal. Whether it's a baby or a business or even a pet within your house, you can use this book to know the vibration of the name that you're using. There are thousands of names within this book that you can use in order to create the talent vibration that is best for your child or your business or anything that is important. So choose the vibration, the talents, the attributes that best supports your child's date of birth or their life path, which is their life purpose. Or name a business with the characteristics needed for your business. Or maybe you're naming something else that's personal. This is my first book. Well, it's like a prequel book, and it's for beginners in numerologies, and it's grounding for newbies and shows all the number energies in a personal chart. Then you have the first of the trilogy, and it's more for intermediate numerologists, people that want to really break numerology down and start using it as an art. It provides a deeper analysis of the lessons and challenges of your life path and birthday energies. So the reasons why you're here, a concise list of your priority life path tasks and your secondary life path tasks. They're not linked because the first column on the left is the most important column for you to work on, but also using the influence of the right hand column to achieve the lessons of your life purpose. Then looking at how your life purpose energies blend with all your talent numbers in your chart. So this is again the second in the trilogy for intermediate numerologists that provides an analysis of the lessons of the life path as they correspond with your main talent expression number, and it can be used for the numbers too. And then the third and final and new book of the trilogy, my intermediate numerologist books, which provides analysis of the lessons of the life path and the soul urge. And that's the motivation, a lesson by lesson comparison of how driven and motivated you are to learn the lessons of your life path. These 3 books can be used if you want to be a numerologist. However, if you just want to learn it for yourself, then just the first book, Remember Your Plan, will be for you.